Hey guys, it's Alicia. Today I am going to be making some honey wheat bread, and I thought I'd jump on here and show you how I do this. It's actually pretty easy, not a whole lot of ingredients either. So first off, what you're going to need is some all-purpose flour. You're also going to need some wheat flour. Then you're going to need some brown sugar, some oil, okay, and then honey. And I don't know if you can tell here, but this has begun to crystallize, which is not a big deal. Honey lasts forever. All you have to do to kind of revive this is put it in some warm water. If you have a microwave safe vessel that it's in, you can also stick it in the microwave. I don't know if this is or not, so I'm gonna just stick this in some warm water, and that will kind of revitalize that honey. And then you're gonna need some yeast. I've got this pretty large package here I just opened. A tip on your yeast, if you want to keep it lasting a really long time, is to put it in the freezer. So I'm going to be transferring this to a airtight container and putting this in my freezer, and it's going to last pretty much forever. Okay, then lastly you're going to need a little bit of salt. Oh, and I almost completely forgot. I like to add instant or dry milk to mine instead of just using water, which I also am not showing here. You're gonna need about 3 cups of water for this, and I will add one of these packs of milk, which is 3.2 ounces, to that water. It just gives it a better flavor than just using water alone. So that is all you're gonna need to make this, and I will get started here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take 3/4 cup of warm water here. You want the temp on that to be around 110, 115. And then I'm gonna take my yeast and I'm gonna put 5 teaspoons of this in there. If you're using the packets, it's gonna be 2 packets. And then I'm gonna just stir this up in here and let that sit for probably, I don't know, a couple minutes. Get all dissolved in there, and then move on to the next step. Okay, now that I've got my yeast nice and dissolved in this water here, I'm gonna pour that in my mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can totally do this by hand in a bowl. Okay, now I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup brown sugar to this, and then 3/4 cup oil, tablespoon of salt, and then here I have another 2 1/4 cups water, and again you want this at about 110 to 115 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. I'm gonna add in my package of dried milk. And a 1/4 cup of honey. And I did not let this get as uncrystallized as I should have, but it'll be fine. It's just not gonna come out of there without the top off. Okay, so 1/4 cup honey. And now I'm gonna just mix this up real well. I've got this mixed. Now I'm gonna add in 3 cups of wheat flour. And I'm just using a fine whole wheat flour. And then I'm gonna mix that up. Okay, now that I've got that all mixed in, I'm gonna slowly start mixing in my all-purpose flour. And I'm gonna just do this 1 cup at a time. It kind of varies on how much you end up using. but it's probably gonna be around 5 cups. So I'm gonna start with 2. And get that mixing in there. Okay, that's where we're at 2. I'm gonna add another 2. And basically you wanna just add this until it kind of forms a firm dough. Actually, I'm gonna just do one at a time at this point so it doesn't fling everywhere. So that's 3. And 4. Okay, so here's what it looks like at 4. I'm gonna add probably about another half cup at this point because it's starting to get close. Okay, I'm gonna add another half cup and then see where we're at. Okay, and here is what it's looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out of here now. I don't wanna burn up my KitchenAid for one thing, because it's starting to struggle with the dough. So I'm gonna call that a good stopping point with this. So I'm gonna take this dough.
That's a lot of dough.
It is a lot of dough. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna flour my countertop here, and I'm gonna start kneading this, and I'm probably gonna knead it for a good 5 minutes, and I'll just show a little bit of that. Okay, so I'm gonna flour the surface here, and then I'm gonna just plop this out. And it's still a little sticky, but again, like I said, my KitchenAid's struggling and I don't want to mess it up because it is brand new. So I'm gonna just knead this for, as I said, probably about 5 minutes, maybe a little longer, until it's kind of elastic. So once I get to that point, I will be back. Okay, I've kneaded this for about 6 minutes or so. This is what it looks like. So now I'm gonna take a bowl and I'm gonna grease it real well with some Crisco. And that's just so the dough does not stick in there. I'm gonna take it, put it in there, and then I'm gonna kind of roll it. And just add a little more of that Crisco to the top here. Okay, like that. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm actually gonna stick it on a electric blanket because that is the only thing I have to keep this warm. If you have like a heating pad or something, that works really well to set your dough on to get it to rise. I do not. So I'm gonna take my electric blanket, I'm gonna plug that in to about a medium heat, and then I'm gonna just set this on top of that, and I'm gonna just wait until this rises to where it's about double its current size right now. Okay, and I just wanted to show you what I mean by the electric blanket here. I've just got this blanket plugged in, got my dough kind of cozied on in there, and this is just gonna help this rise a whole lot easier. I am one of these people that can never get my dough to rise unless I have it on kind of a direct heat source like this. So if your kitchen is warm enough, you don't need to do something like this, but again, even when my kitchen is warm, I can't get my dough to rise. So this is what I do, and it works pretty well. So I will be back once this has doubled in size to show you what to do next. Okay guys, it has been about an hour, and this is what my dough is looking like. As you can see, it has risen quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this good. And so the next step is you wanna get yourself 2 loaf pans and you wanna grease them. I just used the Crisco again. And these pans are old and looking rough, but they still work. So I've got these 2 pans greased. I'll set those aside. Then take my dough And I should say I did cover this with saran wrap too to kind of help speed up that rising process.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I'm gonna take my dough. And now I'm gonna just punch this down. And it smells amazing, by the way. Does it not?
It does.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna cut it in half as evenly as I can. I don't have a bread knife or anything, so I'm just gonna use this. Then I'm gonna take each half and kind of form it in the shape of a loaf. Tuck the ends in here. And I don't really worry about how pretty this is. Maybe I should, but I don't. So kind of form this into a loaf, tucked it all in there. And now I'm gonna put it in my pan. Like that. And then I'm gonna do the same with this one. Cover these again with saran wrap, put them back on the heating pad, and let them rise until they double in size again. And then I'll be back to bake them. So here I've got those both in the pan, got some saran wrap on them, and like I said, I'm gonna just let these rise until they have doubled in size. Okay, so I've let these raise for about half hour, and as you can see, they are definitely a whole lot bigger than they were when I put them in here. So I'm gonna call this good, and I'm gonna go ahead and put these in my oven that I've got preheated to 350. And I'm gonna bake them for around 40 to 45 minutes, but I'm gonna be checking on them kind of the whole time to make sure I don't overcook them. But you just wanna bake them until they are nice and browned on the top. So I will be back when they are done. Okay guys, it has been just over 35 minutes and these are looking done. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out. And then I'm gonna remove them from the pan and let them cool on a wire rack. And here they are out of the oven too. Just thought I'd show you that real quick. They are definitely very large. You could probably get away actually with putting these in 3 pans. I don't have 3 pans, so I just make really large loaves of 2. But I like them like this. So like I said, I'm gonna take these out of the pans, but I just wanted to show you kind of up close before I did what they look like when they are done. Okay, and here they are out of the pans. I'm gonna let these just cool for a few minutes and then I will go ahead and cut into one of these so you can see what it looks like inside. Okay guys, I let this sit for like all of about 2 minutes and it smells so good. We just want to get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. You really probably should let it sit for a few minutes though, because cutting into it when it's warm like this can kind of make it deflate, but we don't really care.
We don't care if it's pretty.
Yeah, we're not into pretty, we're into taste. So I'm gonna cut a piece of this and let my daughter try it. And there's my husband, so he's gonna try it first, I guess. Let's put some butter on it.
Oh my God, it smells so good.
I know, that's what I was just saying. I'm not waiting for this to cool long enough to cut into it.
Look at that butter melting on there.
I'll show the inside of it too. There's that. Get him trying it.
I love it when you make bread.
Bread is good. It doesn't always turn out, but it turned out
The
this
dog
time.
wants to try it too.
How's it taste?
Wonderful.
Is it wonderful?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's hard to beat homemade bread. You want to try it, Lissy? I'll
Yeah.
cut you a piece too.
Look at her.
But it's soft, it's moist. What other words would you use to describe this?
Stop it, I'm blushing.
Give me some words here. You can see how soft it is. There.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Fluffy.
Fluffy, yeah.
It's really soft. It's an interesting combination of soft, but it has enough density to where it's not, as you can see, it's not falling apart.
Yeah.
It's definitely wheat bread. It tastes like wheat bread.
Put that there and I'll let you take that.
But it's got a really nice flavor.
Let me get it. Zoom in there.
Weight Watchers be damned.
Yeah. You like?
Tastes like very classic homemade bread. You cannot beat this. You
No.
cannot buy this in a plastic package at the store.
Well, and that is a good point. If you buy this stuff compared to store-bought bread, it does not last near as long. So this is only gonna last, about a week. And really you should put it in the fridge and that'll help preserve it. But again, there's no preservatives in this, so it's not gonna last like your store-bought bread is gonna last. But it definitely tastes a whole lot better than store-bought bread.
I got a big old thick piece there.
As you can see, my husband's going back for more. But this also freezes really well. It toasts well. It's just really, really good bread. And I think it's pretty easy to make too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.